am not going to crumble like those walls of Jericho. Manzangi was born to sing calypso, inspire you with songs, humor and piquance, social commentary. Compton needs a key. I am protected by the Almighty, and it's He who running my show. Manzangi was born to sing calypso. Tell my critics that Manzangi was born to sing calypso. Hit me on! You can't stop Zangi.
WEFM, the clean, fresh sound.
WhatsApp us or call us at 457-9997. Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
And the timer in SVG, it is 7:45, and at this time we will be hearing from Mr. Lyf Compton, who will bring us his commentary for today. Good morning to you, Lyf.
Good morning, Roleza and Dianna.
Morning.
Roleza, will you just call me there? What name you gave to me just now?
Lyf, could you do your commentary and leave me alone?
I was about to hang up because I saw you calling me up first.
No. Go ahead before I start.
Yeah. So this morning I would like to speak a bit about the banking environment and investing. Over the years, we have seen several banks of St. Vincent and Lyf. I think St. Vincent is really lacking in relation to the banking sector. I think we need different banks. I think we need a body that could monitor and actually make some of these banks comply and treat customers better. For instance, a lot of people have been complaining over the past few months, or just not even the past few months, since the banks at SVG bought over the business from the other bank. I think it was First Caribbean or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people have been complaining about seeing charges on the accounts and money coming out of the accounts, and they're not aware where the transaction was made or what the money was being taken for. I have a friend who says sometimes he charges on his account and he asks what is that, and then when he queries, the money is put back. I have experienced that also where I see charges on the accounts and I don't know where they're coming from. Another problem so that's one issue. Another problem I have is that every transaction you do, you have to pay for it. You use your debit card, yes, there's a dollar fee. You make a transfer, seems like there's a fee attached to that. Banks and savings are basically charging you for every single thing you do with the account. And on top of that, some of them are still charging monthly fees. And there's nobody to really complain to. If you complain to about it. So that's one of my complaints. And with that, I see a lot of people moving away from the banks to the credit union, to the various credit unions. So that's to me kind of good. But the transactions they could do with a credit union in relation to like online transactions or what, they can't really do it. So I really like some kind of oversight of these banks and some of the charges and especially charges. So on top of several issues the bank of savings and spending that people sometimes complain about, the bank has the audacity to put out a press release claiming how much profit they made. So it goes. For the first half of 2025, the Bank of Savings and Investments reported a profit before tax of $25.9 million. This is a 33.1% increase compared to the same period in 2024, driven by asset growth, increased transactional activity, and the careful expense management. Now, what stand out to me in this press release, guys, increased transactional activity. That's a $25.9 million profit. It's 33.1% increase compared to the same period. And I have to pay for every single transaction I make. Now, some people might say, oh, it's just a dollar. But you know, a dollar is a big thing for some people. And it adds up. And it also, what it also does too, is sink us deeper into the fact that we are the most in the Eastern Caribbean, the $1 charge and the online transactions or the ATM transactions are one. So I think this is something that should be looked at. Over the last few years, Minister of Finance have spoken at the in St. Vincent and Kennedy. And then the major bank in the country buck up. Because as I said, people don't want the charges attached to making fees when the cards are making the transactions online. So I would really like to see some sort of oversight or some sort of accountability being placed on these institutions and the way they deal with customers. To be honest, because as I say, us being so dependent on cash is an issue. And the other rules we can go along in relation to our lack of being able to use paper like how the other countries use paper and whatever. Our main focus this morning is basically like the bank charges and the fact that we're so still dependent on cash because of some of these charges. So that's my contribution to the program this morning.
Okay.
Dianna and Roleza.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Compton.
All right, no problem.
All right. All right, so that was Mr. Lyf Compton with his commentary for today, and it is his topic centered on, do banks and SVG need to be held more accountable with regards to, well, the charges that they have, etc., etc., etc. All right, so any thoughts from you, Dianna?
I don't really think there is anything that I can say about that at the moment. But if it is a case where more accountability is needed, then definitely whoever is in charge of that, whoever is responsible for holding them accountable and making sure that they do what needs to be done, I guess they should step in.
Okay. All right. So I've heard the comments, and it's not just in relation to BOSVG. I know that Lyf had put a focus on BOSVG, but I've heard this comment from in relation to other banks that operate here as well, in terms of persons being charged for this, charged for that. I'll be very honest. I am one of those for incurring, right? It wasn't until the other day I had to interact with well, he was my bank person. I just called him a bank person, and he was telling me that one of my accounts, it's actually negative because I wasn't not in negative, but I was, well, I guess I was owing money, but it was in relation to some charges that I did not realize that were there because I don't pay attention to it like that. I am just paying attention to money that's supposed to go into the account, going into the account, and whatever transfers that I have to do that I'm doing. But I am not paying attention to any additional charges that are there. And maybe I am one of those persons who falls in that category of persons who are not paying as close attention. But it is something that I've heard other persons comment about. Let me hear from Coach before I continue. Hi, Coach. Good morning.
Morning. Like that, that is nothing new. I went out of banks because of that. They used to charge me for what is, as I said, to maintain the amount of money. If I go below a certain amount of money in the account, they charge you $15.
For not having money in the account. For not having money.
And
Not
really
having
not
money.
So if you go out and you spend, you spend and use the debit card, you ain't check to see anything. The next thing you look, see it, they say $15. And they're charging you $15 if you don't have the money, So when you put money inside it, if it's how much of a time they allocate $15 for that money, So you might end up giving them $100 if you're careful. I mean, that's why I'm in credit union. Yes, I have a certain limitation. I can't do Zelle and all that kind of thing, but they don't charge me for none of them thing there. That's the difference with the credit union. And my credit union is not just a credit union, it's actually a credit union bank. It's not like the credit union systems where, you become a member, you have shares and everything. I mean, I have shares, but I'm covered. You don't really, mix it of money. But at least I don't have to think about my accounting if I overdraw. I have to pay $15. I mean, the debit card thing, I think every bank charges for debit card usage. I don't know why, but they charge. The difference with me and my credit union, if I go to my credit union and use my debit card, or if I go to a supermarket and shop, I don't pay the money. But if I go to another bank and withdraw money from another bank, then I pay. Because that bank is charging. You understand?
Yes.
I don't pay if I go to a debit machine, an ATM machine that belongs to my bank.
Right, that is right.
I could draw money out of that without having any overhead.
And I think it's the same for us here. Yeah.
But when you go to another bank, if the other bank is charging because the bank now have to transfer the money to, so they charge for that. But you could eliminate that by going to your bank of, the bank that you belong to and get money. If you belong to the national bank and you go to the bank across the street because it's going to be the same price I hear the same price they have out. The banking system, like they talk to each other and say, well, this is what we're going to do tomorrow.
Is one
and when you want to hit you, don't run go by another bank. All them are the same thing. The only thing that might be different is one might charge you 15 or one might charge you 10. But they're charging you. Yeah, so Lyf Compton is involved with that banking business. Go to credit union if you want to say yourself.
All right, thanks, Gojo. All right. Before I say something else, Nicole was a part of the banking system. All right, let's sit. Hi. Hello, good morning. Caller, good morning. Hello, good morning. Okay. All right, it's at there. No, this is not me making any sort of excuses because at the end of the day, it's a little bit difficult to know that you're trying to save, let's say $100, and you expect to see $100 there in your account, only to realize that it's $97 that you're meeting because of a $3 service charge for this or for that, right? But one of the things that I would have to be mindful of is that given that we are an environment now where more do on and trying to call back. Let's see if we could get them. Hi, caller. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
How you all doing?
We good. What about you?
All right. Okay. For me, it's very, very tedious with the bank because I have several problems. For example, they are taking like $3 from me every month, and it's not an explanation. But I still have a previous account before, which was transferred from First Caribbean Bank, and they took over the bank. That account have not been charged, but they encouraged me to take out a new account with talking about WEFM. That account they are charging me $3 for. They encouraged me, and they charged me $15 for that card. And I know when you have a transaction and you use a card, that's supposed to be free. I don't know the charge for a credit card. And they taking the money from the card. From the account. The $3. $2 or something like that in US. To go to the black market and so you have to pay the $2. The other thing is that if I deposit a check, which is a foreign check, it is $15, and you will see that check clear in your account, and they're not gonna release that money until like 6 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks, and when you look in your account, that money already clear. They're using your money and you ain't got access to that thing like 6. I don't understand those operations.
Okay. So you agree the same thing. All right, no problem. Thanks.
Yeah.
All right, so I just want to add this last part. With more persons being encouraged to do online banking, etc. The banks have always been in the business of making money, right? And again, I say this is not an excuse because, of course, I don't want money taken out of my account either, right? But we're doing it. I'll message my time in the next segment. But there is going to also be a charge to maintain everything, right? There's going to be a charge to help to maintain the ATM machines to ensure that they're working. There's going to be a charge to ensure that the apps that we're using, I'm not a tech person, so I can't give you the technical words, but wherever it is that they're being hosted, this is me trying my very best to try, okay, hosted or whatever, whatever background is needed to ensure that these apps, etc., function properly. There is going to be a charge from the bank's end in order to ensure that they're working. So is it a case where these are the charges, these extra charges that we get or we are faced with, are they actually being used to help to ensure that they stay up and they're operational for us, right? Really and truly, I would like maybe the bank or whoever, to maybe do a release, or maybe it's up to us as customers, to ask what charges are generally going to be regular. Yeah, it's interesting and interesting. I deal with it